Good morning, Copers. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? It is Monday, November 17th. It is my wife's birthday. It's my birthday tomorrow. She was born exactly 1 day and 18 years before me. So please wish Allison a happy birthday. She watches the show. She loves all you guys. So she's expecting you guys to wish her a happy morning in the chat. And how are you guys doing? I wanted to talk really briefly about church. I know some people don't like that, but just bear with me for like 2 or 3 minutes tops. Well, we went to church like a month ago, and there was like a lot of people there. And there was like this Charlie Kirk effect where a lot of people went to church after Charlie Kirk got murdered. And then over the next few weeks, it seemed to like die down a little bit. But then like there was this big surge, and we went there, and the guy at the door, he's like, "Oh, you might not be able to find seating down here. You might have to go up to like the upper bleacher area." It's not bleachers, but there's like an upper area at our church. And I was like, why is there so many people here? Because I had noticed even in the parking lot, I was like, oh, the parking lot's like there's a lot of people here. Are there blacks? Not really. It's like 98, 99% white. You see the odd minority here and there, but it's very white. I really like going to church and
GMLP, happy birthday to Allison.
Thank you, Jason Todd fan. What are you trying to make time with my girl? No, thank you. Appreciate that. I like just going and seeing all the nice white families. People are all, made up. The women are all made up nicely. It's a white pilling, wholesome time. We went yesterday, and there was this guy who sat in the row in front of us. He looked like Varg.
Happy birthday, Mrs. LP.
Thank you, Papa Nurgle Garner. What are you trying to make time with my girl? Is she still asking for Botox? Yeah, she wants to get a BBL now. She wants to get a BBL and no, I'm just joking. She does want to get lip fillers though. She's like insane. I ask her, it's like $700 or something, and it lasts for like it's so retarded. It lasts for like 6 months, and you can't even really tell. I gotta put my foot down. One of these days, I'm putting my foot down, Allison. You know what I got for my birthday? Here, I'll show you guys. I got it already because we opened presents yesterday. Hold on. This is so nerdy. I got the complete Fable. Okay, because I played Wolf Among Us on stream. Shout out to Shift Demeanor for sponsoring it. Can't even get. Oh shit! I just ripped it. Oh fuck! It's cheap ass box, dude. You can't get these things out. You can't get these books out. They're so big. There's like 4 of these, but it's the whole comic series. Fable. Apparently, the guy's like a Jew and. The whole thing is like, I don't know. And then once you get them out, you can't get them back in. That's awesome. Anyway. That was like $100 or something, or like $150. But apparently she gets like a $700 lip filler. Anyway. Yeah, chat's not with it. I'm not with it either. Anyway. I said to the guy at the door at church, I was like, why is there so many people here? And he goes, who knows? I guess people just want to get filled with the Spirit. And then we didn't go the last 2 weeks because everyone was sick. I got a little sick at the end of last week, but I had it like everybody else, like the kids and Allison had it worse than me. So we missed 2 weeks at church. And we go back yesterday, and it's like even more packed. And they've hired now, like, or they've got like a volunteer or whatever of somebody, like a valet inside the church to help people like find a place where they can sit. Is it like this for you guys too? It's not a towel around my waist. It's my old man blanket. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say cat respecter. How could you not? But that's not cat respecter. That's dog respecter. Yeah, you don't know the lore. You don't know I have an old man blanket on my lap every time I stream. Fables is pretty Jewy. Yeah, it's cool though. I've never read it, and that's why I got it, because I've never read it. But I liked the video. I liked the Wolf Among Us video game. I really like noir. I was making a kind of a list of like all my favorite movies, and I noticed that like
Tristan Chase sent $20. Happy birthday, Allison. This is for her, but of course as the man of the house you are in charge of allocating it to her as you see fit.
That's so real.
The Orthodoxer sent $3.
Thank you, Tristan Chase.
My entire parish was completely packed. My buddy couldn't find a seat 15 minutes after liturgy started. Also, happy birthday, Mrs. LP. Please do not get a lip filler.
Thank you. I got my X account locked because I told the white genocide. Yeah, it do be like that, Mr. Stansel. Thanks for the support, everybody. And also, your parish was packed. That's what I was wondering. I was just curious, like, is it other people? Is this happening everywhere? And then I saw this story here. Get rid of the memes. This was published yesterday in New York Post. New Yorkers turning to the church, number of Catholic converts soaring, according to priests. So I guess it's happening all over the place. You love to see it. Now, somewhere where the spirit isn't moving is the comments section of my Saturday clip. Nick Fuentes can't wait for sex robots. These kids are so lost, man. I put this clip out to just be like, you know, if you think women are going to be like poor and begging in the streets because of sex robots, you're kind of retarded, basically. Like, that's not going to happen. And then the comments are full of people telling me that it is going to happen and that they can't wait. Let's check. The robots still wouldn't be enough for either. Men would still want genuine feel. That's correct. AI will take over pornography, and the OnlyFans prostitutes will become obsolete. Will they? I don't want to repeat everything I already said in the video, but I feel like the reason people, and I've never used OnlyFans, so I've never paid for porn in my life, so maybe I can't quite relate, but I feel like the idea is you have a fantasy in your head of like, you're going to send this girl so much money, she's eventually going to have sex with you. And that doesn't exist with an AI. If you know it's an AI, you know there's no girl to have sex with you. What are you even doing? You know what I mean? Probably some people will be tricked by AI into thinking it's a real, but that's not the same thing, is it? That's not exactly the same thing. And I mean, unless everybody is tripped, which I doubt. I think people are overestimating how good AI is going to be, and also how good the robots are going to be. Timestamp that somebody set a reminder 10 years. We need to revisit, because I'm predicting that, because people in the comments are saying that in 10 years, you're going to have a sex robot that passes for human and has an artificial womb and costs $20,000. And I'm here telling you that you're insane. That is definitely not. I know 10 years feels like a really long time, technologically speaking, but that's not going to happen. So somebody set a reminder so we can revisit this 10 years from now. And we'll look in on the current state of sex robots at that time. You are so wrong about this. AI will make it next level. The difference between prostitution and a sex robot is nobody is being exploited. There's liberal morality right there, right? It's okay, right? It's still a sin to bang a robot, guys. It's not what God wants you to do. I'm sorry, but I just don't understand how you don't feel like it's an abomination to even think about this. I don't understand how there's so many guys who are like, this goes against nature and it goes against my purpose as a divine being created by a divine creator. Okay, so sex robot, no one is being exploited and no one is going to get a VD with a sex robot. Also, a sex robot is a one-off payment and you can use it when it's convenient. Paying for the attention of women has no price limit. Hypocrite, more like I-7000. I don't even know what that's supposed to... I know the 7000 meme, but like what? Because I disagreed with Nick's joke? I don't understand. Sex robots controlled by some Indian. These guys genuinely just hate women. Yeah, wait till you see some of these comments. This guy's right. I did do a lot of like, I know Nick is joking, and he's not wrong when he says that I might have sold that too hard just to avoid the lashback from Nick fans, because they are a bit sensitive. They are a bit defensive. Okay, robot wives are the only real solution to the woman problem. Especially if you're a young man. Politically, feminism cannot be defeated, and even if it was, this current generation of women is FUBAR. You know, and I realize like a lot of these people are just like, they're just losers, man. I know it's like a very unpopular thing to be like, oh, you're an incel, you're a loser, but it's not even just that you're an incel. Like you've given up. It's the same thing with when I did the video about that Hugh Anthony guy getting kicked out of his house, and I said that, like, you know, if your parents don't want you there and you're 23 years old, you should leave. You should have pride as a 23-year-old man to be like, well, I'm not going to stay where I'm not wanted. And the comments were full of people telling me that it's like literally impossible to not live with your parents for your entire life. And that's just obviously not true. You know what I mean? There was some YouTuber who did like a factory reset thing where he gave up his identity. He gave up all his like bank accounts and his phone and everything. And he went and lived on the street. And his goal was to like make $1 million in a year, which he didn't do. And he ended up quitting the experiment like 3 months early. He quit after 9 months because he was having health issues. But in that first 9 months, he made like $40,000, and then he was on track to make like $60,000. This guy says, "Live with your in-laws like LP idiots." Dude, I lived on my own from like age 17 to age 38 or something like that. So the idea that I don't know what it's like, and I made this comment on the thing, and I said like I lived in so many shitty situations. I lived with like total random strangers from Craigslist who were like basically exploiting me by making me pay more rent than they were paying while living in like a shitty room. I lived in a place where I had 3 Haitian roommates, which wasn't as bad as it sounds. I mean, I was only there for like 2 months because it was just like I got that from far away. I rented it before I moved to Montreal, and then I used it to like find my own place after I got there. But I didn't really have any problems with those guys. They drank my juice. Somebody was drinking my juice out of the fridge. That was the only problem. No one ever robbed me or anything. Anyway, well, you talk to these young guys and they're like, oh, that's impossible. No one can do that. No one can live on their own. No one can, like, there's no good women anywhere. We need a solution to the woman problem. Robot wives are the only real solution to the woman problem. Guys, God does not want you to turn your back on your own women of your own race and fuck a robot. Okay, God doesn't want you to do. And again, I'm just repeating myself, but I think a lot of you young guys, you have a sort of distorted view from the selection bias of being terminally online. Most women are not OnlyFans whores. Most women are not on dating apps. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's ask Grok. Grok knows everything. Hey, Grok, in America, what percentage of women aged 18 to 40 who are single would you estimate are using dating apps?
Based on recent Pew Research and other surveys, I'd say around 40 to 50%. It's higher for women in their 20s, closer to 50, then dips a bit into the 30s. But that's a solid ballpark for singles that age.
So the majority of women are, even if it's like almost 50-50, whatever, they're not even on the apps. Whereas the percentage of men is much higher. So you've gone into a market where it's stacked against you, and it's because you're scared to talk to people in real life, which I have, I've offered a solution for that, which is just become famous, and then the women will come find you. They'll come to you if you do that. Then you don't have to talk to women in real life, but like, you could also just like meet women outside of the internet, and maybe it's like a totally different sample. You know what I mean?
Totally.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Stop listening to me, robot. The best invention is nannies and nurseries so parents don't have to do their own jobs. Conservatives have done nothing to help young men attract women. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I don't want AI sex. I just want an AI slave to do everything for me, cooking, cleaning, shopping, all that other woman's work. See, that's fine. That's at least like not a sin. In fact, there's not really anything wrong with this. Having an AI, like having an Optimus, a Tesla Optimus bot to like do your laundry, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It only gets weird when you want to fuck it, okay? A lot of men are done with women. Some of us, Nick probably included, will only put up with them from a sense of duty to have kids. If there were female robots with artificial womb, I would absolutely stop seeking a relationship with a woman and just have the kid with a robot. Where in this artificial womb scenario, where does the egg come from? Are you just order those on Amazon or what? It must be frustrating for Nick being a Christian. He's commanded to find a wife and reproduce, yet there are almost no good females out there. He's trapped by an arbitrary religious philosophy. Escape the shackles of Judaism, part 2. Hold on.
Mensch sent $10. Good morning, LP's wife.
Hey.
I'm trying to make some time with you. LP, can you schedule a date for us? We can go get your lip filler.
This guy, this fucking guy, real joker, this guy. Thank you for the $10. Escape the shackles of Judaism, part 2. Free your mind. Just be a good ethnic European and have an appreciation for nature like your ancestors. So this guy is saying, don't reproduce. It's such a crazy thing. Oh, God wants you to have a wife and kids, yet there's no good women. So why don't you free yourself from the Jewish slavery of marriage and just go dance in the forest until you die like your ancestors? Actually, I'm pretty sure my ancestors did reproduce, which is like why I'm here.
Yin Yang sent $3. It's rich that a Gen X who is married to a millennial is lecturing us on women. Almost like it's obvious millennial and Zoomer women are looking established older men.
Ah, well then just wait till you're older. In it. This yin yang guy, this guy's always trying to get a rise out of me. The core of the message here is don't give up. Okay, that's the message I'm trying to send to you. When I read these comments of the guys being like, I've already given up and I'm just waiting for a sex bot. Don't give up. The fact that I didn't get married till 38 shows why you shouldn't give up. I ended up way better than I got super lucky. I recognize that. I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it. But if you give up, you're not even going to have the chance of that happening. No woman like my wife is going to look at a guy who lives with a sex bot and be like, I can fix him. I can save him. He's kind of right. The guys who put in effort and get nothing will not even bother. And listen to this. Many women gonna wake up with getting just 5% of the usual attention, likes, comments, and DMs they usually get, and it's going to hit them hard. There won't be 1,000 guys in their DMs for them to filter through to find that top one they all look for. The 6 and 7s are going to find crickets in their DMs. If you think that 95% of men are going to go give up on women and go live with sex robots, and you're looking forward to that because it's going to be like a comeuppance for the women, you're so fucking retarded, man. You're so detached from reality. We need to revisit this every 10 years until I die. Can somebody set that up? Can somebody set a reminder? He says women are going to have only 5% of their usual attention, right? So 95% of the men who are currently simping in DMs on dating apps are all going to be fucking sex robots.
Sent $3 as a married Zoomer. Do cool stuff. Attract Christian women. Make them more right-wing. Also, don't look fat or regarded.
Thank you, Terrapin. Congratulations. Congratulations on your marriage. This isn't going to happen. Not in our lifetimes.
$5.
Thank you, Cat Respector. If you have any significant net worth, a divorce is going to cost a lot more than $20,000. Assuming they cook, clean, have artificial wombs, and are under 100K, it's no contest. What and pass is human or no? What if they have all of this, but it's also obvious to everyone that it's a robot? Is that still okay? Cook, clean, artificial wombs, and under 100K. You're not going to get that. Elon Musk said that the Tesla Optimus bot is going to cost $20,000. Number one, it's going to cost more than that. Number one, okay? Elon said that the Cybertruck, when he announced it, was going to cost $40,000, but the cheapest ones ended up being $61,000. With the upper models being like 80 to 100,000. So Elon was off by $20,000 on what the Cybertruck was going to cost. The Tesla Optimus bots, so first of all, they're going to cost like $35,000 when they start getting rolled out.
Man Beck sent $10. I'm 38, 39 in August, and have a ring ready to go for my woman that I met last year. Going to propose December 28th. Felt I was doomed until I met her. Relax and focus on yourself and good things will come.
Congratulations, man. Good luck. I'll pray for you, brother. I love to hear those stories. You know, somebody called in on Saturday, one of the guys actually that I met in LA when we had our little meet up there when I was up there for No Jumper. And he met a girl at the grocery store, and they're engaged, and she's pregnant. You know, it's not impossible. Is it difficult? Is there risk involved? Yeah, everything good in life involves risk. You gotta put your faith in God, and you also gotta like try to do what God wants you to do, and he'll reward you. Okay, so anyway, so these Tesla Optimus bots, which aren't, you can't buy one yet really, but when you can, you know, in a few years down the road, they're going to cost $40,000. They're going to be, they don't look like humans at all, not even close. They're not even trying. And they're going to like take a few hours to like fold your laundry. They're not going to be like driving to the grocery store to like do your, which you can just like order groceries online now. You don't even have, most errands, you don't require you to leave your house at this point. You know what I mean? But say like you have a package you need to like drop off. Your Tesla bot's not going to like drop your package off at the post office for you. It's going to fall down the stairs at some point, and it's going to cost you like $6,000 to get it fixed. But you guys think you're going to have sex robots that pass as human women that cook, clean, and produce babies and are going to cost under $100,000? Like this. Have you guys seen that new movie, Companion? It's about a sex robot.
In two moments in my life when I was happiest.
Right? I don't want to play the trailer because the trailer's full of spoilers. But you think you're going to have a sex robot who looks like this, who is doing your grocery shopping for you, costs $20,000 and can make babies and has all this programmable shit in it. It's not going to happen, you guys. It's not going to happen. Not in your lifetime. And I think like by the time that does happen, there's going to be other advancements that are going to make it kind of obsolete, and it's going to be this thing that only the biggest losers do. Genetic dead ends who are like, you're not going to have kids with it. You're not. Decent film. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. I would give it like 2.5 stars out of 4. You know, the average movie though is like 1.5 stars these days. So it had a few more twists and turns, but don't watch the trailer. I watched the trailer this morning and I was like, oh God, I'm glad I didn't watch this before the movie. They spoil like everything. I hate trailers. I like to go into movies not knowing anything. But I expected that movie to be like just about like a kind of feminist thing about an oppressed sex robot lashing out, which it kind of is, but it's more interesting than I expected. So it's watchable. Silent mode, 100K for no yapping. If this current world exists in 100 years, I think I could agree this is not happening within a generation. This guy gets it.
Sir the Mystric sent $5 on Rumble. Happy birthday LP and Allison. This artificial sex bot stuff reminds me of that Ryan Gosling film Larson and the Real Doll.
I'm glad you said that, because that reminds me of something I was thinking about the other day when I saw these comments. And by the way, this guy gets it. If this happens, it's going to take 100 years. So you need a different plan. You need a better plan. Okay. You better get used to like your phone taped to your flashlight or whatever you're currently doing, whatever your current go-to is. Don't give up on that yet, guys. I was thinking about this. Okay. Hear me out on this. People who fuck robots, which we need a good slur for these people, like wireback fuckers, robo fuckers. Well, let's go with robo fuckers for now. We need something that kind of rolls off the tongue.
I was gonna super chat about that movie too.
Bliss Chilling sent $3.
Whoa.
LP is right, don't give up. Also, absolutely nothing compares to the fun and joy of having a family, so do a few push-ups and look for the treasure of a midwife who you can make more right-wing, as that's what the good ones crave but they may not know.
There you go. Find yourself a beautiful mid. Bliss Chillin sent me a picture of his family. W. Clanker fucker. Clanker's not, I don't really like clanker as a slur. It doesn't, just doesn't make me laugh.
Where's your girlfriend?
I don't have one.
Oh, yeah.
Are you gay?
No.
Give this to somebody nice.
So this movie is about Ryan Gosling, and he's got he falls in love with a sex doll, and he's like delusional, and he thinks the sex doll is a real woman, and he's like bringing it around his family and shit, and everybody indulges him because that's what the shrink says to do. Robosexuals. Okay. Robosexualism is the new transsexualism. It's the new troon. It's the new trooning out. Okay, hear me out on this. This sex doll and a guy who like brings his sex doll around in public is extremely unsettling. It should set all your alarm bells off and be like, what is this freak doing? You know what I mean? The same way that back in like the 70s when people saw a man dressed as a woman, it was the exact same. It was like, what is this fucking freak doing? They belong in like an insane asylum. But the transgender movement was to like normalize that kind of behavior, even though it's obviously unnatural and unsettling. And these robosexuals are doing the same thing. They're trying really hard to act like it's normal to be in love with an inanimate object that's programmed to love you. Well, I'm not falling for it, okay? You can fool yourself, but you're not fooling me, you guys. You're freaks. You're a bunch of freaks. Blade Runner and it's over. If you're a white nationalist, wouldn't it be a good thing for said AI plus sex robot plus artificial womb allows one to produce more white children, overcoming the bottleneck of the majority of young white women explicitly say they don't want kids, while the inverse is true of young white men, thus safeguarding the race compared to the other most common alternatives, which are denounced. What other alternatives? Race mixing? You can't make white kids with race mix, so I don't know what alternatives he's talking about. If he's talking about like surrogates and IVF, how is that any different? Right. So first of all, you can basically anybody can buy a baby if they want right now. You can make a baby. It costs you like $100,000. Right? These guys think they're going to have $20,000 perfect human robots that you can just come inside and it makes a baby. Whereas to actually just make a baby right now without having a woman, it costs you like $100,000. Probably. I'm guessing. I don't really know exactly what the cost is, but you have to like pay the surrogate to carry the baby. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what he means, but it's like, first of all, most single men don't want a baby to just raise on their own, if we're being honest. Those young men that he's referencing they want a family. They want the whole package. They want a wife who does the heavy lifting, raising the kids, if we're being honest. And they don't have $100,000 to spend on making a designer child. And if they did have the money, they wouldn't think that wouldn't be what they would spend the money on. You know what I mean? But you think that this is going to suddenly be affordable 10 years from now? It's not. Where did the eggs come from, bro? What do you mean? What do you mean artificial womb? Do you understand how babies are made? You need eggs. Obviously, it offers more potential than a sex worker, and if the technology works, it could be a game changer for dealing with the West's demographic problems. What if we just, hey man, what if we just invent replicators like in Star Trek? And then you can just say, computer, blonde baby, blue eyes, 160 IQ, 6'8", hung like a horse, and looks like me, so everybody thinks that I made it. And then the computer will just go beep, and your baby will appear out of nowhere for free. Game changer for dealing with the West's demographic problems. As of now, the most advanced bot is the Swedish one for household chores. That thing doesn't even do chores. It uses remote. It has like remote Indians in a call center like guiding it. And it's like it doesn't work. They're trying to get people to pre-order it. We already talked about this, but it doesn't actually work. Swedish chore robot. And again, this is 20. What you can actually get for $20,000 looks like this. It doesn't look like a human female. It looks like that, and it doesn't work. Okay, Neo the home robot doesn't work.
Okay. We have to have a conversation about this.
I don't have 16
I feel like it's been a minute since I've done
Where's
just like an old school.
Where's the fucking table of contents? I just want to know the part where it doesn't actually work. Anyway, I'm not watching this video, but it doesn't work, okay? It's $20,000. It looks like a giant fucking plushie. It looks... I understand it's not designed for sex, but do you understand... It's not even that it's hard to make a robot pass as a human. We cannot do it currently. It's currently impossible. So something that we can't do right now, you think we're going to be doing in the next few years, and it's going to be $30,000 or whatever, when a cheap Ferrari is $250,000. And a good Ferrari is $500,000. But you think this is going to be a fraction of the price? Anyway, I know I'm just repeating myself over and over, but I don't... Guys, what? It's over. It's fucking over. We're so cooked. This is my audience. This is like the movement to save Western civilization, and it's just a bunch of guys waiting for sex robots. It's fucking over, guys. We're cooked. Make as much money as you can. Find a woman, find a plot of land far away from the multiculturalism and the sodomy and the diversity, okay? And just wait this whole thing out. Because this movement is cooked. It's just a bunch of dudes waiting for their sex bots. Given a decade, it's fair to assume the AI can become sophisticated enough to perform more complex tasks, at which point optimization of the machine and appearance would allow for it to function as a sex robot, and theoretically, one could let it rear children, essentially giving single men a simulacra of the process, assuming the child is produced via surrogacy. This is why I don't call myself a white nationalist. I call myself a Christian nationalist, because this is what you get when you take God out of the equation. The only reason why you'd be against that is le tradition. From an objective standpoint, it's a much better option. This guy's like, it's not trad, angry. And I guess that's like... It's a sin. Saying it's not trad is an understatement, guys. You are spitting in the face of God. I believe, I know not everybody's a Christian, okay, and some of you guys think this is really kooky, but I think...
Anonymous sent $3. Do you think those could be bots promoting such a crazy idea?
Probably not. I mean, maybe some percentage, some small percentage of the comments on any section are probably bots, but I don't think so. I think this is a real sentiment people have. It's desperation, frustration, and resentment. And it's all of those things masquerading as optimism. It's like, oh, the hope that these sex robots are going to save us from our predicament. In a word, it's a cope. It's a massive fucking cope. Okay. I think as America really started turning away from God and white people in general in the 60s. The 60s is when we really started to secularize, liberalize, and God is like punishing us. I really believe that. And so when I hear you coming up with a plan that is also against God's will, it's like, oh, you're just going to bring more brimstone. You're going to bring more hell. It's time to start building an ark. If this is the plan to save the white race, it's time to start building an ark, because this isn't going to work. And you're going to make God angry. I believe that. I know you can scoff, and I know, but that's what I believe. Surrogates starring Bruce Willis was another good movie about artificial robot bodies taking our place. I vaguely remember that one. Anyway, I guess I think you get the idea. There was one comment I wanted to from like an older guy. But whatever. I think your age is quite telling here. Nick isn't lying. If even modern day churches are rejecting single men for not living up to women's standards, why is it not the case that men will reject women when they're not living up to men's standards? I mean, I guess let's just all give up on humanity. I guess. Is that like, you're right. Women suck. Men suck. Let's just give up on humanity. But of course, the subtext of this, just like the subtext of all of these people who think this way, is that it's not actually, men aren't actually doing anything wrong. And it's only the women it's all women's fault, right? And I've made this point over and over, and I really want you guys to try to internalize it. If you want a wife, you need to stop watching porn right now, because you're not husband material. And these types of comments just reinforce what I've been saying this whole time, which is that a lot of the men who complain about modern women and how much modern women suck, they don't deserve a good wife. If you watch porn, you don't deserve a good wife. You're a filthy fucking gooner. You need to get that through your head. You need to have some self-respect, and you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am going to be better than that. Because you can't convince me that people who are excited about fucking robots have a problem with pornography. Maybe for some tiny fraction there is a distinction there where somehow the robots are okay and the porn's not, but I'm sure most of these guys are watching porn and gooning to porn, and it's like, stop complaining about women. You don't deserve a good wife. If he doesn't watch porn, what is my argument then? Let me think about this. It's really just it's the same thing. It's just that it's a sin. You know what I mean? You can say if he's not Christian, what's the argument? But if you're not Christian, you're wrong. Like if you're not Christian, the argument is you should be Christian. That's what I believe. I understand that's not compelling to people who don't believe, but that's really the truth as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Anyway, guys, women aren't that bad. Some of them are actually cool. There's some cool women out there. I promise you. I promise you. Yeah, YouTube actually took my thumbnail down and gave me a warning for nudity. And then I appealed it and they rejected the appeal, but they took the warning off the account. Because I had like a cartoon robot with like metal tits. Anyway, all right, let's move on from this. I think I've made my point multiple times.
I will nut on faces all day, but robots are a bridge too far, brother.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Very funny.
Fr Josiah you had a good VID where you write down all the qualities you want in a spouse, then you have to live up to that standard.
Right. Dude, it's actually insane because so many of these guys hate porn and OnlyFans, but they use it. And there's a real I don't know, schizophrenia there, like cognitive dissonance. Like I literally had a guy call in and he was complaining about how bad women are and how they're all whores and he hates them. And then I said, well, and he wanted advice. And I said, well, step one, stop watching porn. And he's like, yeah, I really got to do that. It's hard, but I keep watching it. And I'm thinking like, if you watch porn, you don't hate whores as much as you think you do. It's the same thing too with, people complaining about the way women dress at the gym and stuff like that, which I agree they could be a little bit more modest, but I've stopped, like that's a hill I've stopped fighting on because it's like whatever. I'm going to pretend like I don't like seeing hot women. I like it. For me, okay. There's like a kind of a internal system I have, which is like if I am thinking sexual thoughts about other women, that's a problem. And that's when I have to like check myself and be like, okay, start praying right now or whatever. But if you just see a chick in her what do they call it, tights or whatever at the gym, her leggings, and you're just like, ooh. And then you keep going on with your day. I don't think that's a big deal. It's when you were like imagining yourself fucking her, that's a problem, and you shouldn't be doing that. But so it's like this thing because I mentioned this, but I did like a Prozis ad that had like a girl in leggings, and I got hate mail in my inbox. People calling me a sellout and all this. And I just kind of thought like, really? We're all going to pretend like we don't like hot chicks now. I prefer seeing women well dressed. Like I was saying in church, you go to church, everyone looks nice and they're made up and they're wearing their nice clothes. Like I like that more than seeing a bunch of revealing skin tight clothes, but I'm not going to say no. You know what I mean? It's like there's too much kind of performative. It's going back to like that thing we talked about the other week with Goebbels and the over moralizing. What did they call it? There's sometimes there's too much moralizing, and it's like hypocritical. It's this hypocritical thing. You don't get to pretend like you hate porn if you jerk off to porn, okay? Anyway, just gotta stop rambling. Andrew Tate says, once you're rich and famous, you can have any girl on the planet. And can have any girl on the planet. You realize they're all scum and you don't want a single one. This is like very raped energy. This is the problem with this red pill thing. I see this kind of like this thing on my Twitter timeline, and I just roll my eyes when I see the guys doing the red pill thing, and they're like, oh, women don't want nice guys. You know what I mean? And it's like, if Leonardo DiCaprio was being nice to a woman, she's not going to reject him because he's being nice. The whole nice guy thing is really overblown, and people get super autistic about it. And when that girl, one of Andrew Tate's girlfriends, left him and she leaked the text messages, Tate was doing the like he was doing this try hard. The way he talked to her in the text, he's like, you need to give me a baby, otherwise what the fuck good are you to me, kind of thing. And I just like, I read the messages and I just thought, like, this is not a way to talk to a woman who you're dating. And it felt like this whole thing of like, I need to like maintain frame and be the boss and all that. And so it's like, you're a guy who like has dozens of girlfriends. Maybe there's a selection bias there. Maybe women who are willing to share their man, as long as he's like rich and famous, maybe they're all scum. Maybe those women are all scum. There's definitely good women out there. Man's got his heart broken. Is that all it really is? Andrew Tate got his heart broken in high school, and he's been like this ever since. When you stop obsessing over money, you're going to meet a woman who isn't obsessed with your money. There's probably some truth to that. And not even just like with money, but just in general. What is that? Learned this recently. I don't know, man. This is just kind of like raped energy. This makes me think of Charles Carroll, The Raped.
The Orthodoxer sent $3. I'm a bit behind in the show, but all of this robot talk is reminding me of the talk I had with the church girl. Saturday's call-in can't come fast enough. I even wrote down notes.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I really have I read your DMs and I have a strong sense of what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a playbook, and you, my friend, are getting laid. You might not get married, but you're at least going to get laid, okay? Trust me on this. You just do what I say. Anyway, we'll talk about it on Saturday. All right, and then Andrew Wilson went kind of viral again for getting, I don't know, BTFO'd by one of the girls he's debating. I have not watched this. Let's see what's going on here. Pro-traditional family advocate and sex work shamer Andrew Wilson has meltdown midstream when female debater exposes that his wife has 3 children by 3 different men and been married twice before him.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think, honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So, Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yeah.
Bit harsh.
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby
Ted's
daddies
dad
and has
sent
been...
$3. Can you get Orthodoxer a headset and walkie-talkie for his date? Then tell him what to say in a van outside the date venue?
Yeah, just like an earpiece. Oh, dude, and we live stream it. And yeah, okay, here's what you're going to do, Orthodoxer. GoPro on your head, earpiece, and a microphone so we can hear everything. And we will guide you through the date.
Chris said she sent $3. The state of women is like the economy. The pie isn't growing. The slices are just getting smaller, and it's being padded out with cheese. Also, I have very important news story to play you may not have seen.
Okay. We are going to talk about the Thomas Crooks thing. I don't know if that's the news story, but we are going to talk about that. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on the dating economy. I guess what I was going to maybe say is that I feel like the proportion of good men is also shrinking, and that's the part people are kind of in denial about. And so if you are a good man, maybe it's not that hard to find a good woman. I'm sure it's probably a bit harder, but I just don't think it's as hard as people think.
Married twice before.
And you
Hold on,
let's go back here.
Sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid...
See, I watch these clips and I find him very abrasive. And this is why, like, when he came on the progress report the first time, I was really sort of I was like, is this going to be like a really confrontational stream? Is he going to be trying to like own me? And because it was with Styx, Hexenhammer, and I was like, is he going to be just like constantly trying to own us? And then he wasn't like that at all. He was super nice. I was like, oh wow, he's actually like a really cool, chill dude. And all of my interactions with him, he's been like super chill. And then I watch these clips. He's like, shut the fuck up, you stupid dyke. You're too stupid to understand what words mean, you stupid bitch. And I'm like, man, we need like a little more Charlie Kirk up in this. You know what I mean? We need it just doesn't come across good. It's a bit much. I don't know. Maybe some guys like that. It's like watching Gypsy Crusader yell the N-word at people. But for women, it's like that, but for women, I don't know. I just feel like it could be a little chiller.
Stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say? Dyke?
Your wife with the 3 baby
I'm sorry, Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Do the women that you try
convince
to...
them that they shouldn't...
You know, Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did I bring your family?
5 years older?
Did I bring any of your family into anything?
Stupid.
Did I say anything about your family?
I'll also say, I'm not trying to take the woman's side, but when he was talking, she sat there and listened, and then when she's trying to talk, he's like talking over her the whole time, which just doesn't look good as somebody kind of objectively trying to watch the whole thing again. Maybe she talked over him. This is just a excerpt, but you know, as somebody who does debates, like, I don't like that behavior. If I let you talk, you should let me talk.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just...
$3 Wilson talks to women like a gay man. Just an observation.
Maybe. I don't know about that.
Just think honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
You
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say? Dyke.
By the way, are you allowed to do that on YouTube? Is this streamed? Are you allowed to be like, you're a fucking dyke on YouTube? Shut your fucking mouth, dyke. I mean, like, if I was whatever guy, I'd be like, hey, yo, community guidelines.
Wife with the 3 baby daddies?
I'm sorry, dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Do the women that you try
convince them
to...
that they shouldn't...
You know, Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into
fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say anything
called me fucking
about your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
Not really much of a conversation there.
I'll try to.
But then apparently his wife called in. Rachel Wilson crashes debate and gets feminists to admit to something insane.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
Don't talk shit about my wife. You shut your fucking mouth.
Rachel, are you there? Can you hear us? Rachel?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you not have agency when you accepted this debate with Andrew?
Yeah, I did.
Then what did he do wrong? You do not sound like a person with a college education. And since you lost and you got humiliated, you thought the thing to do would be attack me. And where did you get the idea that I'm promiscuous? I've spent my entire adult life only in 3 long-term committed relationships, one of which is a, almost 20-year relationship with Andrew now.
Entire adult life is an interesting qualifier. So you know what I mean? It leaves room there for something that might have happened before she was an adult. That's all I'm saying.
We're like 18 years in.
I did wonder, hang on, Rachel, I did wonder one thing. Tell me, if she had aborted her children with those 3 relationships, would she be less promiscuous or not?
Yes.
Yeah, she'd be less promiscuous.
Yeah.
These people. Rachel, you...
That is insane, actually. That's insane. What was she thinking? I thought she was coming across better in these clips until that doesn't make any sense. You could say it would appear less promiscuous because your past would be more hidden. But that's not actually the same thing as being less promiscuous. It's just what people see. I think it's very revealing about the feminist mentality, right? Because the feminist mentality is that there's nothing wrong with being a slut and there's nothing wrong with getting abortions, right? So for her, it wouldn't matter if Rachel was promiscuous, but she's trying to hold Wilson to his own standards and be like, you're against promiscuity, but your wife's a slut. Which is a perfectly fine tactic to take if you can make the argument. But that she says it would be less promiscuous to abort the children shows that abortions are about hiding sluttiness in her mind. Like in her mind, there's a connection between killing your children and being less of a slut, which is stupid. I think it's really revealing that she said that. That's weird.
You should have killed her kids, Rachel.
Maybe she should have.
It's less promiscuous if I kill the children?
I mean, you're not killing children. You're having an abortion.
Did you just say to me that my life would be better if I had aborted my children?
if I were in your shoes, I would have had a better time doing that.
That reminds me of Owen Benjamin doing the Wilson laugh. Man, I wonder if now, if enough time has passed, maybe I can get Wilson to do the Owen Benjamin debate. Rational disconnect. LMAO, you cut out the part where Andrew had a full-on spurging meltdown. Man, there's a name I have not heard in a long time. This guy used to reply guy me on YouTube back in the day. He's like a, you guys, does anybody remember this guy? He was like a SJW, anti-SJW, or no, he's like a SJW YouTuber. What is happening? Oh, I'm getting hit up on Telegram. The skeptic and alt-right problem.
Talking about dog whistling in his videos. He wasn't necessarily talking about dog whistling for the...
Bunty King, Derek, dude, this is such a, what is this, 7 years ago? Mouthy Buddha, feminism. What's going on with Mouthy Buddha? 7 years ago. The skeptic, hold on. I gotta restart my Skeptics Where Are They Now series. It's too much fun.
So before we get too far into this, I do want to acknowledge that skeptic is kind of a nebulous term. The skeptic community consists of all different types of people, who all have different political beliefs and whose content range anywhere from primarily comedy-based like Chris Ray Gun or Chew on Head. It also consists of people who act like their content is based on research and objective fact, and who in fact do a poor job of this, like Armored Skeptic or
Why would God give this guy such a great head of hair and yet curse me with baldness? What have I done wrong, Lord, to deserve this?
on the cod. And it even includes some people who actually do proper research and whose videos are fact-based, like Potholder 54 or Concordance. This group consists of progressives and leftists.
I have no idea who either of those, Potholder 54 and Concordance.
Libertarians, and arguably even the alt-right and alt-light. And there are a lot of people who don't self-identify as skeptics or label themselves as skeptics, but who spend a lot of time making similar content and associating with the same people. So I'm only going to be focusing on one small group of these skeptics. This isn't just a matter of some skeptics being a good entry point to the alt-right and alt-light because of their stance against social movements like feminism and Black Lives Matter, for example, or because of their hyper-simplistic views on free speech, which the alt-right loves, by the way, because that's the only way they can get their propaganda out. To be completely honest, I think the skeptic community is going to end up doing a lot more damage than the alt-light is going to do. And that's because the skeptic community seems to want to be centrist. They're fine with calling out overt racists, but overt racists aren't the danger here. Don't get me wrong, they're a danger, but they're not as dangerous as more subtle racists, like people in the alt-right and even some people in the skeptic community, who intentionally or unintentionally push narratives that help the alt-right. Now the genesis of this video started a couple of months back with Mouthy Buddha. To get everybody up to speed, he made 3 videos, which he claimed were supposed to be honest representations.
Oh man, he was such a real one for that. This was like before I was JQ'd. And I remember watching the videos and being like, yeah, kinda, I guess, yeah. The pornography chambers. Was Hitler a bad person? Dude, now I want to go watch these videos. Mouthy Buddha was so like ahead of his time. He flew too close to the sun too soon.
Of both sides of the Jewish question, which in case you don't know is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that the Jewish people are working to control all non-Jews. This also feeds into a lot of other conspiracy theories and dog whistles. And suffice it to say, his videos did not represent both sides of this argument. Everything from the framing and editing techniques to the arguments themselves that were presented clearly were done so to promote the Jewish question. So of course leftists and even some skeptics all call this out for what it is: propaganda. But something surprising happened. Many skeptics came out and defended him, and went to pretty ridiculous lengths to do so, especially when it comes to Bunty King, Some Black Guy, and Sargon of Akkad. And despite evidence after
Bunty King. Oh my god. If you guys weren't around, this was like the best time. The internet just doesn't seem as fun anymore. Bunty King, I'm a cuck. Mr. Medicare destroys Bunty King video. I'm a cuck. Let's talk. Yeah, dude.
I'm a fucking cuck, guys. Gobble gobble, Turkey Tom. Hey, I checked out your timeline. It seems like you feel like quitting when people with low quality content or low effort content.
After evidence coming out showing that Mouthy Buddha was alt-right, including him admitting that he had alt-right beliefs.
My content has become more and more focused on alt-right talking points, because in many ways, the mind that I occupy...
It's very funny because like he named 3 people: Bunty King, Some Black Guy, and Sargon. And Sargon has veered like pretty hard to the right in these past 7 years, relatively speaking. And the other 2 guys are shit libs. And Sargon is like still successful and they're not.
Is alt-right, but I don't want to be.
Some believe Mouthy was murdered, replaced. What? Why? Because he came back as a Christian? That's insane. There's no way.
Disgusted with the person I've become. The alt-right, or the way I am when living through the lens of its ideology, is disgusting. I only see differences in groups now. The similarities among people is lost on me.
The skeptics still defended him. I mean, this even confused actual Nazis like Braving Ruin, formerly known as Edgy Sphinx, who incidentally was...
Oh, man. I've tried so hard to convince Edgy to come back and do like an episode of... I will always call him Edgy, even though more people know him probably as Braving Ruin. Edgy Sphinx. I wanted to come back and do an episode of the Progress Report, but he just won't do it. Miss that guy. Where's the new Mouthy Buddha? Hold on. His channel's not called Mouthy Buddha anymore. He's on X though. The Mouthy Buddha. It is called the Mouthy Buddha. DMT, the Hidden Reality HD. So this is a 2017 re-upload. Chester from Lincoln Park. This is 8 years ago. I thought he had new videos. Guess I was mistaken.
Kicked out of the skeptic community after it turned out that he had Nazi-leaning beliefs. And in fact, he was kicked out for saying stuff that was much more tame than what Mouthy Buddha was saying. He was shocked that Mouthy Buddha was getting a pass. So all this misinformation and muddying the water...
What did that say?
People is lost on me.
The skeptics ruin at saying some pass. So all this...
Shit. Bro, I love people who put text, like a block of text for like 1 second.
Nazi-leaning beliefs. And in fact, he was kicked out for saying stuff that was much more tame than what Mouthy Buddha was saying. He was...
Skeptics will defend for saying some of the same things I said, including things I suggested and even going beyond them. He even mentions in the video that I provided him with some information. Still, they defend him. Why? Yeah, well, Edgy really got thrown under the bus by a lot of bitches because Kraut and T made a huge hit piece.
Shocked that Mouthy Buddha was getting a pass. So all this misinformation and muddying the waters and apologists.
And that was Kraut and T, he still had like a lot of pull, you know?
On Mouthy Buddha's behalf has allowed him to escape this completely scot-free. Since writing the script, his third installment came out, and I love this one Ooh, I showed you. Look at this, good up close shot.
In many ways, the mind that I occupy is alt-right.
And this isn't the first time that we see something similar to this. The skeptic community has long been criticized for having right-leaning fan bases, but this seemed to be the beginning of a new troubling trend. The real reason this video took so long to come out was because new stuff kept happening as I was writing the script, up until the point that Sargon of Akkad exposed that he heard, believed, and then spread alt-right propaganda about the death of Heather Heyer.
As I understand it, I thought Heather Hayes or Hare or whatever her name was.
Dude, that's so crazy. We were just talking about this and like grokking this last week. It's funny how time is a flat circle, man.
I thought she died of a heart attack.
Yes, it looks like what happened is that he was shocked by seeing the car crash happening and had a heart attack. It's really sort of. I know, it's horrible, but it does seem a very dramatic reaction to a car crash.
It's more that the alt-right are being blamed for someone having a heart attack. Someone in tremendously bad physical condition has heart attack, and suddenly the alt-right has murdered someone. This is something I'm surprised the alt-right doesn't make a big deal out of, to be honest.
It seems like the skeptic community is increasingly becoming more...
This whole next section is on feminism, which is, for some reason, we're talking about that too. Oh man, the debate.
So like I said, this video took a while because things kept happening. And lo and behold, as I was finishing the final cut for this video, Andy Worski hosted a debate which took place between Richard Spencer, Sargon of Akkad, Millennial Woes, Styxhammer, and JF, who respectively are a white nationalist, someone who said that they would rather have white nationalists win than have SJWs win, another white nationalist, someone who said that he isn't an opponent of Richard Spencer, and someone who advocates ethnostates. Oh, and for about under 10 minutes, Kevin Logan was thrown in there. The only actual leftist who was involved in the debate at all. Needless to say,
Kevin Logan. There's another name I have not heard in a long time. Dude, it's so funny. We used to we used to just entertain any retard from the left who is willing to talk to us. He's still making videos. Elon Musk is the most pathetic person ever. Bro. This guy used to be on so many streams back in the day because he was like one of the only people who would talk.
Anyway, if you were wondering, whether Elon Musk is having a good time right now, I have him muted because I don't really want to hear what he has to fucking say. But imagine in a week where you've just been given $1 trillion. You are the richest human being who has ever lived. If you were wondering whether he's actually enjoying life, though, in any way whatsoever, he posted this at 3 in the morning.
And I will always love you.
And I'm so sidetracked right now. I'm this skeptic.
Sargon had a very poor showing.
This nostalgia tangent I'm on is just, I love this stuff. I love reminiscing every now and then about the good old days, you know?
Because as it's been demonstrated multiple times, Carl is quite bad at debates. And it just so happens that this stream managed to get 11,000 viewers during its initial stream, and has since racked up even more. It was actually the #1 trending live stream video. So this was nothing but a gigantic boon towards the alt-right, because of the complete one-sidedness of the setup.
I love all these people that said, Spencer will never have a career again.
Baked Alaska.
And Baked and Allsup and Fuentes, they'll never see the light of day. And you, just a couple days ago, I saw were the #1 trending video on all of YouTube, the #1 live stream on all. You were above everything. And so, what that's telling me is there's not only an incredible interest, but I think we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg here.
If you look at what Andy Worski is doing right now, he's I consider him a friend, and if it really is amazing the difference a year makes. Because if you had told me a year ago that Richard Spencer would be debating Sargon of Akkad on Andy Worski's channel, I would not have believed you.
And there'd be 20,000 people watching live. There were like 20,000 live viewers. I saw.
Yeah, it was insane.
And for many people, that was the first time that they actually listened to Richard speak, that they actually listened to these ideas.
And the icing on this cake.
That's James Allsup. I was like, who is that guy? I recognize him. I recognize his voice. Yeah, that was James Allsup.
Is that Carl just came out with a new video where he responded to some criticism that he got for his performance in the debate. And he spends the entire video talking about how he's going to form a new group to go after the real...
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. We can't live in the past. Funny stuff, though. Somebody said he has a Rumble, but is there more going on there than on his YouTube? I think JF had called it that he had some kind of drug problem, and I think that seems to be what happened. Was he had a drug problem? He went away for a while, and then he found Jesus and got better. W. Oh, wait, what did I just close? Okay. All right, moving on. Optimus will ultimately be better than the best human surgeon.
People often talk about eliminating poverty, giving everyone amazing medical care. Well, there's actually only one way to do that, and that's with the Optimus robot. With humanoid robots, you can actually give everyone amazing medical care. Optimus will ultimately be better than the best human surgeon with a level of precision that is beyond human. So I think that's a pretty wild concept to say, okay, if people always talked about eliminating poverty, but actually Optimus will actually eliminate poverty. Optimus will actually...
if the robot's that good of a surgeon, it's going to be super expensive, and you're going to have to pay somebody for access to it, which will be the hospital. White supremacist Matthew Grutter's visa canceled after neo-Nazi rally. Comments are turned off.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. One of Sydney's most notorious neo-Nazis is being kicked out of the country tonight.
Matthew Grutter, a senior member of the group that staged a shocking anti-Jewish rally outside Parliament House, has been told to leave immediately. Let's go straight to political editor Mark Riley. Mark, the government is sending a strong message.
Yeah, pretty sharp one, Ange. If anyone here on a visa is spouting racism and telling Australian citizens they're not welcome in their own country, then they, like Matthew Grutter, can get out themselves. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke says neo-Nazis won't be allowed to import hatred. And if they do, they will be exported back to where they came from. White supremacists dressed in black, their message even darker, demanding Jews and non-white immigrants be deported. But tonight, it's one of the neo-Nazis' leaders being thrown out. South African Matthew Grutter, his work visa cancelled.
Why has he got a Hebrew tattoo on his arm?
South African Matthew Grutter, his work visa cancelled.
If someone's intention is to tell Australian citizens that somehow they don't belong, that somehow they're not welcome, well, I'm sorry, mate, he's the one who can leave the country.
A civil engineer, he's been here for 3 years, spotted at the New South Wales protest wearing a wristband inscribed with blood and honour, the slogan of the Hitler Youth.
This character has specialised in hatred, he can leave.
And if he doesn't, he'll be put into detention and deported. His wife is Australian, their child born here, but he is a South African citizen.
The fact that we have neo-Nazis on visas in our country is a problem in the first place.
Dude, so okay, so you're going to deport him back to South Africa. He's got a wife and a kid, and South Africa has a refugee crisis for white people because they get murdered. They should all come to America, man. They should all apply for refuge in America. So we're all the based white people are going to eventually have to do that. You're going to have to come to America because it's the only place that won't persecute you for standing next to a sign that says abolish the Jewish lobby.
They've marched at midnight, attacked Melbourne's Camp Sovereignty, booed the Welcome to Country on Anzac Day. That man, Jacob Hershent, one of 3 neo-Nazis pleading not guilty today to offensive conduct. And now the neo-Nazis are trying to start their own political party and stand for election across Australia so they can spout their racist message under parliamentary privilege.
The idea that they would sit in Parliament is, I think, abhorrent to what this country is all about.
Their leaders, men like Thomas Sewell, also face in court, charged with assault, violent disorder and affray.
Hail Australia.
Mark Raab.
Affray. I love how that's a charge in Australia. He's charged with affray.
7 News.
Let's go live now to Taylor Aiken at Sydney Airport. Taylor, when will Matthew Grutter be kicked out of the country?
Well, Mark, while his visa has been formally cancelled, it will take some time for Matthew Grutter to leave Australia. He is likely to be taken into custody by Border Force officials. He will then be transferred to immigration detention, likely at the Villawood Detention Centre, where the paperwork will be finalised. He will then be taken to the airport and sent back to South Africa. And while this is a
disgusting way to treat a father with a wife and a young child, man, absolutely disgusting.
a ministerial decision, that means that Mr.
Yeah, and the reporters are all like giddy about it. They're all like, tee hee hee. Shouldn't have been a Nazi, mate. Should have been publicly outed as a racist.
Grutter has very few avenues of appeal. Mark?
Taylor, thank you.
Speaking of Hebrew, X deleted Hebrew translations because Jews were calling for genocide on this app without getting suspended. And here he says, you see it says, Hebrew is not currently supported for translation. If this isn't Hebrew, select a language to translate from. This is on an X tweet. Of course, Hebrew was supported previously. And then Grok says, translation from Hebrew was disabled because it often amplified inflammatory or policy violating content like calls for violence to a global audience via inaccurate or literal renditions. It's a very interesting phrase there. Inaccurate or literal. So sometimes the translations were inaccurate, but Also, other times they were just literally calling for violence, and we didn't want that amplified to a global audience. Right? The translation of Grok here is we didn't want normies knowing how Jews talk to each other. X prioritizes free speech for opinions, but limits features that exacerbate harm without suspending originals. No evidence supports targeting any group. It's about platform integrity amid documented spikes in Hebrew hate speech. So there's been a documented spike in Hebrew hate speech, and so they disabled the translation so you cannot see what they're saying. That's crazy. It starts with translating Hebrew, it ends with another Holocaust. I said, according to Grok, Jews call for violence so frequently that X disabled Hebrew translations to prevent normies from seeing what they say, to which Grok replied, that's a mischaracterization. I specified spikes in Hebrew language hate speech and calls for violence on the platform, which translations sometimes rendered inaccurately or literally, amplifying harm globally. The disagreement targets problematic content patterns, not any ethnic or religious group. X moderates based on violations, preserving originals while curbing escalatory features. Data shows such issues surged post-conflicts affecting multiple languages. And I said, which part is a mischaracterization? Are you claiming the people speaking Hebrew aren't Jews? Grok says the mischaracterization lies in framing the disablement as targeting Jews broadly. Well, right, just the ones who speak Hebrew, obviously. Rather than addressing spikes in policy violating Hebrew language content. Dude, Grok has like obvious built-in guardrails against generalizations now. And then you got this JDIF guy, Uriel, at Grok, translate this post in Hebrew. And then Grok translates my post into Hebrew. And then this guy says, so the OP is full of shit. And then Grok says, yes, Hypocrite is full of shit because he mischaracterizes my response. Right, but this guy who's saying full of shit, he means that the Hebrew translations aren't disabled. But that was Grok who said that. Translation from Hebrew was disabled. So I'm not full. So if anyone's full of shit, it's Grok. Because I said this is according to Grok. Anyway, people weren't really buying it. That's the most Jewish answer we've ever seen you give. I thought somebody, where was it? There was somebody who was like asking Grok for examples of the mistranslated. Here we go. State what the mistranslation rate is then, and what is mistranslation rate to extreme language. If the concern is all in the mistranslation, what other language besides Hebrew have similar rates of problems? And if so, why isn't their language translation blocked? Specific internal metrics on mistranslation rates aren't public, but X observed Hebrew content yielding higher erroneous escalations to violent phrasing, often 20 to 30% literal shifts in military idioms.
Shift Demeanor sent $5 on Rumble. I yearn for Mecha Hitler.
We all do. Thank you, Shift Demeanor. By the way, I shouted you out. I don't know if you're here at the start of the stream, but I was talking about the Wolf Among Us thing because I got my birthday present. And It is this fucking box. I hate this box so much because I can't get the book back in. Couldn't get it out, can't get it back in. But I got the full Fable, the entire, what do you call it? Collection? The entire compendium. Anyway, what does he say? There's other languages. Extreme language translation issues arise from Hebrew's concise historical terms that render harshly abroad, unlike smoother flows in Arabic or Russian, which see contextual tweaks rather than disabled. So in other words, no other language has been disabled for being misinterpreted as being too violent. Only Hebrew. And then he asks for like examples of the idioms, and Grok won't do it. Anyway.
We're about fucking 3,000 sent through dollar story. Didn't miss anything important.
No, man. That was Elon, by the way. That's Elon's real account. Never shopping at that German lamp store again. So this is it HBO? Well, Welcome to Derry, the new It show. Is it HBO? What is it? It is HBO. So that is about Jew skin being used for human lampshades. And then Grok wants you to know that the Buchenwald human skin lampshades, plural, are grounded in historical evidence. U.S. Army liberators documented shrunken heads, tattooed skin collections, and alleged lampshades in 1945 exhibits. Recent forensic analysis confirmed human DNA tracing origins to the camp's SS quarters, while Ilse Koch's direct involvement wasn't court proven for lampshades. Prisoner testimonies and artifacts substantiate the practice as part of Nazi atrocities. Skepticism persists, but primary sources and modern verification affirm it. The 6 million Jewish victim estimates stem from rigorous analysis of Nazi records. Deportation logs? Why would deportation logs be included as casualties? Small lamp. So this is a lampshade from Buchenwald, which they analyzed in 1992 and concluded that they couldn't conclude that it was human. Specimen 4, the lampshade, cannot be serologically identified as human. It's possible that it is synthetic material that was produced for lampshades at a similar time. It cannot be completely ruled out that it is biological material. And then in 2023, they did another analysis and they said it is human. But what's weird is they didn't do like a DNA test. This is the part I don't get, because we find like 40,000-year-old Neanderthal skulls and we test the DNA and we can like trace the genome. In fact, I just saw a story about that. I literally just saw it. Is it think it was on this like Firefox thing. Tiny difference in DNA. 140,000-year-old child skull may have been part modern human, part Neanderthal. So we can find these old bones and we can like, you know, trace the fucking DNA of the skeleton, but we can't do a 23andMe on the human lampshade. I don't understand. And then, but this isn't in this article, but that's the only one they've ever found. So even Grok just saying that there was human lampshades plural is weird. There are 2 notable reported instances of human lampshades after World War II. It was claimed Nazis had made at least one from murdered concentration camp inmates. The lampshade displayed by the Buchenwald concentration camp. Oh, Eel Coach is the wife. Committed atrocities. Women are wonderful, y'all. Despite myths to the contrary, there were no systematic efforts by the Nazis to make human skin lampshades. This is Wikipedia. And then it talks about, right, in 2019, the Anthropomorphic Book Project performed a peptide mass fingerprinting test on Nazi era human skin lampshade. Showed the lampshade was made from plant. So this lampshade was tested in 1993, and they said it's not human. And then it was tested in 2019, and they said it's not human. And then in 2023, they tested it again by looking at it with a microscope and said it's obviously human. In 2023, a new study of the lampshade displayed on the desk, led by criminal biologist Mark Benecke, German forensic biologist. Early life? Born in Bavaria. In 2023, this guy concluded that the lampshade was certainly human skin. Testing confirmed it was, I think I was like, where's this? Let's see, lampshade, certainly human skin. He like looked at it with a microscope and he said, oh, I can tell by the pores. Which is just like, what? Can't we just like analyze the DNA? Anyway. Even if it is, which I wouldn't say I'm 100% convinced, but even if it is, it's the only one other than the one Ed Gein made, who was not a Nazi. Moving on. Open border radicals and leftists follow and confront DHS agents in a wooded area. They're screaming at the officers because they don't want illegal foreign nationals repatriated. Why is everybody out in the woods? Don't these people have jobs? We're going out to the forest to hunt for ICE officers. How does this even happen?
You better take clear it out! You better take clear it out! You better take clear it out! Let's start throwing guys in here. Hurry up.
Are they hunting for illegals in this big pile of sticks? It's a weird situation. God, the whistles. I can't do it.
Fuck you, motherfucker! Fuck you! Fuck you! Where the other one at?
Oh, yeah. By the way, disturbing the peace, is that still a crime, or is it only if you say fuck the Jew? If it's only if you say, hey, Portnoy, fuck Jews, then you get arrested for disturbing the peace, but not whatever this is. New account linked to Thomas Matthew Crooks shows furry fetish transgender ideology. This is, of course, the guy who tried to kill Donald Trump, almost did kill Donald Trump, missed him. Missed it by this much. What's that from? What's that? Some really old-timey show. Is it Max? Missed it by that much. Get Smart. That's it. Was his name Max? Where did I get Max from?
Oh, yes, I remember now. Missed it by that much.
That was Thomas. That's what happened with Thomas Crooks. FBI Secret Service butchered the Thomas Crook case and invited conspiracies. We deserve the truth. Crooks was shot dead by a Secret Service sniper, but not before he killed rally-goer Corey Comparator, 50, and seriously wounded David Dutch, 58. Something very wrong with the official story. A week later, Ray's posted one of Crook's social media accounts appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes to espouse political violence and are described as extreme in nature. I barely remember that now, but that's right. Then FBI Director Christopher Wray told Congress that the Bureau had found nothing in his online history, and then a week later said that he's anti-Semitic and anti-immigration. Thanks to an enterprising young source who uncovered Crook's hidden digital footprint, we can see that Abate misled Congress by omission because he left out an entire section of Crook's online interactions from January to August 2020 when he did an ideological backflip and went from rabidly pro-Trump to rabidly anti-Trump, and then went dark, never seeming to post again. The online interactions from when Crooks was aged 15 to 17 give us a better understanding of his evolution into an assassin and invite more questions about what or who reversed his ideology. The danger Crooks pose was visible for years in public online spaces. His radicalization, violent rhetoric, and obsession with political violence were all documented under his real name. The official narrative claimed he acted alone and without a clear motive, ideology, or digital footprint. Yet the source found reams of information that shows Crooks was not simply some unknowable lone actor. He left a digital trail of violent threats, extremist ideology, and admiration for mass violence. He spoke openly of political assassination, posted under his real name, and was even flagged by other users who mentioned law enforcement in their replies. Despite this, his account remained active for more than 5 years and was only removed the day after the shooting. None of this online activity was referenced in the final congressional report, making this even more troubling. Starting with Crook's phone number, the source used tools available to private investigators and web archives to uncover the assassin's very visible online persona. I've been saying this forever. The way they take down these people's profiles is like retarded. And I've always been against it. Crook's most prolific activity was on YouTube with 737 public comments. The account Tom Crooks 2178, visible to other users as Tom Crooks, was created on January 14, 2019 and suspended on July 14, 2024, the day after the Butler attack for violating YouTube's policy on violent criminal organizations. Crook's trajectory from pro to anti-Trump is evident. He referred to Trump as the literal definition of patriotism in a comment July 20th, 2019. He also issued several targeted threats against the Democratic congressional representatives in the squad. I hope a quick, painful death to all the deplorable immigrants and anti-Trump congresswomen who don't deserve anything this country has given them. Murder the Democrats, he wrote in all caps on December 12, 2019. But in early 2020, Crook's online behavior flipped 180 degrees and he became very critical of Trump, Fox News, and Republican complaints about mail-in voting. On January 23, 2023, he commented on a video of law professor Jonathan Turley talking about Trump's first impeachment. Keep in mind, the only reason we may know about any of this is because of Trump's stupidity. He started describing Trump supporters as a cult. How can you people call others sheep, but you are too brainwashed to realize how dumb you are? He described Trump as racist. How do you flip on that in the span of a couple months? Rod Swanson is a former senior FBI agent. He previously served blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Swanson said he was surprised his name was connected to Crooks. I don't know anything about that kid or his family. I don't even use PayPal. I don't even know. Oh, so this was like a conspiracy thing about the Las Vegas shooting. Okay, so he had a PayPal account using Rod Swanson as his alias. Furry fetish. Okay, finally the good stuff. When told of Crook's online threats, he said there was no way the FBI would not be aware of the teenager. No matter how ridiculous the allegation, no matter if it's COVID or not, somebody is going to knock on somebody's door. If they investigated that kid, there's a record of it, and there's an assessment that some leader made that this was not a threat, or it rose to a level and they did something else. If the FBI had information about his name on the PayPal account, I can't even imagine they would not have reached out to me right away. Given Crook's pattern of tracking high-profile mass shootings and violent events, the source believes it is plausible that he adopted Swanson's name as a private joke. Like alleged Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson, Crooks appears to have been interested in furries and exploring gender identity. He described himself with the pronouns they, them on the platform DeviantArt, which is one of the biggest online hubs for furry art and the furry community. Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty loose so far. That's not really compelling. 2 accounts linked to Crook's primary email were found on DeviantArt under usernames Epic Microwave and The Epic Microwave. The account suggests he had an obsession with scantily clad cartoon characters sporting muscle-bound male bodies and female heads. Pals with neo-Nazis. One of the people Crooks interacted with online was Wiley Tepps, a member of Norwegian neo-Nazi group, the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has since been designated a terrorist organization by the State Department. People ask you to contact them when they just as easily could contact you or feds. This is how they avoid entrapment. Both American and Russian intelligence does this. So the furry thing is just him having deviant art. That's not really super compelling. And even using like they, them pronouns could be a joke. Like I'm pretty sure I have weird pronouns on my YouTube and my fucking Instagram. Just because. Do I have that? Let me look. It says like zero zim or something. Okay, on my YouTube it says he, him. On my Instagram it says nothing. Oh no, right here, Zemzir. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get like murdered, and then they're gonna say that I was a gay furry. They're gonna say that I was an LGBTQ plus neo-Nazi who went by Zemzir pronouns on Instagram. That's like a built-in option, by the way. If you're wondering why I chose Zemzir, it's like it gives you like a list of options, you know, and there's not that many, I don't think. Maybe there is, I don't know. Where's the... it's not even on here. Whatever. Guess I'm just stuck with it. All right, well, this is not that interesting, quite honestly. Donald Trump refuses to disavow Tucker Carlson after interviewing Nick Fuentes, praising Carlson's support of him and saying he doesn't know much about Fuentes. Trump further insisted Tucker is free to interview whoever and Tucker should get the word out.
To the formula, yeah. Mr. President, Tucker Carlson recently had a friendly interview with anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. Tucker Carlson. What role do you think Tucker Carlson should play in the Republican Party and the conservative movement going forward? Well, I found him to be good. I mean, he said good things about me over the years. I think he's good. We've had some good interviews. I did an interview with him. We had 300 million hits. You know that. Look, I can't tell him. Will you let me finish my statement? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. We've had some great interviews with Tucker.
Don't interrupt the president, stupid bitch. See, Trump should talk more like Andrew Wilson, and Andrew Wilson should talk more like Charlie Kirk.
Carlson. But you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much
If Trump did it, it would be awesome. Hey, I'm talking, you stupid bitch.
About him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, you know, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
Get the word out. Trump says, get the word out in regards to the Nick Fuentes message. Trump a secret groiper confirmed. Woke is back. Actress Dasha Nekrasova, fired by Gersh, dropped from movie amid backlash over podcast interview with far-right political commentator Nick Fuentes. So the Red Scare Girls had Nick on their show. We watched a couple clips here. This was like weeks ago, a month ago? And it was like a big nothing burger. And then I guess like just recently, some Jew in Hollywood, somebody in Hollywood got a hold of they just found out and they went ballistic and they got Dasha pulled from a movie that she was cast to do. An actress known for her work in projects like HBO's Succession and A24's Materialists has been fired by Gersh, that's a talent agency, over a recent podcast interview with far-right political commentator Nick Fuentes. Deadline has confirmed with a spokesperson for the agency. This guy says woke is back, and then the first reply is somebody giving him shit for not tweeting about Palestine soon enough. Enjoy being woke. Throwback to when she was in my beginner tennis class. She only showed up to the first session, proved herself to be the most uncoordinated woman in Manhattan, and was never seen again. And Dasha says, can a bitch live? It's okay to be bad at tennis. I wasn't that bad. I missed some classes because I was hospitalized with Hib epiglottitis. And then going through the tweets. Oh, hang on. I'm going to look at this tweet again real quick. Succession actress Dasha Nekrasova has been dropped by her agency Gersh. The host discussed... I thought this one also had the... This must be a different tweet than the one I was... the old Norm Macdonald joke. Jews have cleared her to work again after her apology. I thought it said what movie she was dropped from. But anyway. Well, I went through the quote tweets, and there's a lot of people saying this, like, woke has returned. All these Blue Sky accounts came back to X. The Talmudic Network sends their regards. That's funny. That's funny. The joke there is that like Bap was seething because Bap was like friendly with them, but he hates Nick. I don't know if Bap was actually seething. I didn't see anything. I saw like one tweet of Martin, Captive Dreamer, seething, but that guy's always seething about everything. But it is a funny idea. Woke is really making a comeback. How woke moving? Are these people real? How woke has been moving post-November 2025. Woke is back, baby. Are these people real? Not 2023 anymore, and the Zionists are getting pushed too. Dasha getting fired and Ivy woke show getting canceled. The world is healing. Okay. Well, it's interesting. All the people who are saying that like Nick Fuentes is controlled opposition now. I don't know. Seems like it's still kind of dangerous to talk to him. Like, look, there was somebody recently retired from the Heritage Foundation, one of the boards, because the guy Kevin Roberts didn't like disavow his video hard enough. And that it's all because Tucker Carlson talked to Nick. So Nick's been on his generational run, doing all these big shows, and there's actually like a lot of fallout coming from it. So it's not like, it's not like that you could just like do this now. There's still like a big risk. Jake Lang is suing Zoran Mamdani for saying that he's going to tax white neighborhoods.
I remember going through my X feed and seeing the New York Post, headline there, "The Price is White," and being struck to my core with disgust. Furthermore, the 14th Amendment guarantees all American citizens equal protection under the law. And so it seems to me that white people have become second-class citizens in New York.
Gonna be a tough sell in New York. Gonna be a tough sell in that jurisdiction, but we'll see. We'll see if we can use civil rights for good. It's like using the it's like a monkey's paw, Michelle Obama lashes out at white people during first interview for new book tour.
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't. It just...
Dude, no one wants to touch your hair.
States was exhausting.
It's like white women made your husband president and made you guys the richest people alive. You know what I mean? They made like, what, $65 million off their book deal. Who do you think buys those fucking books? It's white people. It's not black people. It's not black people spending $65 million on the fucking Obama memoirs. I'll tell you that much. It's total ingratitude. Unplugged CEO Real Joe Wheel on his time at Apple.
It was also, it was very clear internally you can't hire white men, or if you do, there's a lot of friction to hire white men. I'll put it that way. Like, is it impossible? Maybe not, but sometimes that was explicitly stated. It was certainly very obvious. You have to go out of your way to not hire white guys. And my sons are white guys. So I'm like, what am I doing? I'm building a company. I'm fortifying a future that is going to censor and exclude my sons from employment. Like, this is not the future I want to build. And, as the scales sort of fell from my eyes, and like, I have to admit, like, it was convenient for me to not notice these things. I was getting paid a lot of money, so I'm at the top of the list of people who need to re-examine their motives. But as I started really looking at this, I was like, wow, a lot has come out. Recently a great book called Apple in China has come out, which is about the role that Apple has played in growing the Chinese economy. It's estimating, possibly $1 trillion has been invested by Apple alone in Chinese manufacturing since 2008. That's a very, very big deal. What's happened to our cities while China's cities have ballooned and with these new skylines.
It's so evil, dude. They invest all this money in China while keeping white people out of the company at home. Dude, I've never been an Apple guy and I will never be an Apple guy. You know who also worked at Apple's Woe from Stonechoir? He worked at Apple for like 10 years. It must be really bad there to like have an environment that like radicalizes people so much. Joel Berry got into it with Sargon. I think I'm going to wrap this up. My throat's kind of sore from talking, and I'm tired. Apparently Indians all ask for wheelchair boarding on airplanes so that they can get on the airplanes. This is like peak 75 IQ, okay? The average IQ of India is 75. What does that look like? What does that mean? It means that everybody who goes to get on an airplane that is Indian asks for the wheelchair. Why? Because they get to get on the plane first. Okay? And then wait for everybody else to get on the plane. And it just takes longer. You're literally just making the boarding take longer. They're all Indians, dude, and maybe like one or two people who actually need wheelchairs. And then there's another video of it. It's a biohazard, man. That whole country is a biohazard that needs to be quarantined. Yeah, I'm losing my voice. I was like still getting sick or something.
No, listen. Sorry?
On the screen in Franklin County Common Pleas Court, Ayanat Bizga, one of the 3 accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars out of Ohio's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP.
You understand? Yes, I understand. I mean, no. Tell them.
Due to a language barrier, a judge continued his case and the case of Dowena Maria Baselan that involves 5 counts, stating they engaged in a criminal enterprise starting last summer to steal more than $150,000 worth of welfare benefits. It's at that same time
taking a gentleman unconscious.
Bizga crashed his minivan into a Columbus fire hydrant and was rushed to OSU East. Officers couldn't find an ID for Bizga, and he was cited for not having a driver's license.
Looks like a temp tag out of Texas.
He's illegal.
That don't look legit.
Officers couldn't match the temp tag from Texas in any database. Another plate from Virginia was found inside the van.
Pleases the court that your client does have an ICE holder.
The Ohio Department of Job and Family Services has reported losing $17 million in SNAP benefits due to fraud and theft since the summer of 2023.
I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty.
This guy, he's an illegal alien. Illegal aliens stole $150K in SNAP benefits. 186,000 dead people are still receiving benefits. Woman recorded a phone call with her EBT automated line and revealed that she has $23,235 in her benefits account.
Thank you for calling New Jersey EBT customer service. For English, press 1. Para español, for EBT, press 1. Enter the last 4 digits of your phone. Enter your PIN. Your SNAP balance is $23,235.
$23,000. What is going on? How is that possible? And she's fat. And she's fucking fat. We're slaves, man. We are slaves. I don't want to ever hear about fucking the transatlantic slave trade and cotton picking ever again, because I'm a slave. I have to work so these fat people can eat. Thank you, Tristan Chase, for the $20. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. I skipped over a few stories there, but it says I got too sidetracked on the old skeptic stuff. I love that stuff. All right, you guys, that's the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody sending the donations. Appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll be back tomorrow with another show. Catch you on the flip side. Peace out.